Good morning and welcome to our daily devotion. So I am sitting outside and it's a little cloudy outside, so I apologize if this is a little dark, but it's still quieter out here than it is in there. So this morning I want to talk to you about a story in the Bible that I'm sure most of us has heard about Moses. Now Moses was called to lead his people out of Egypt. But before that happened, Moses was in captivity in Egypt with the rest of the Israelites. And one day there was an altercation that happened, and Moses came to the rescue, jumped in, and he killed an Egyptian. Now, he knew that he was going to die. That's punishable by death. So he ran and escaped, or, trying to get away from the Egyptians because he didn't want to be killed. Can you imagine his surprise, though, as he was running away? He came upon this bush, this huge bush burning, and he noticed it wasn't being burned up, but nevertheless it was on fire. And he stopped to investigate this burning bush. And, imagine his surprise when this bush started talking to him. And, that would have probably shot the daylights out of me, probably scared me. I might have even run at the time, But I expect if he had run, that bush would have ran with him. I don't know. But, But when that bush started talking to me, it was God talking to him. God was the all-consuming fire. And he told Moses that he had been commissioned to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. And Moses' first thought was, yeah, Lord, right. He's like, who am I to do a job like that? Don't you remember? I just made an escape from Egypt because they're trying to kill me. Now you want me to go back and tell Pharaoh to let my people go, his labor force, the people he's got doing all his work for him? Yeah, Lord, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I can imagine the conversation with the Lord with that one. And we all know Moses wrestled, and we all know that Moses did, in fact, lead the people out of Israel. But my point is, maybe God is speaking to you and to your heart about something he wants you to do. And you feel like it is totally beyond your ability to do it. Like Moses, you're probably saying, who am I and what am I to take on a job like that, Lord? I can't do that. Do you know who I am? Do you know what I've done? Well, of course he does. He's God. But God reminded Moses in his name, I am, the great I am. And he is the God of the past, the present, and the future. He is the God of your past, your present, and your future. When God gives you a job to do, what's most important is not who you are or where you've been, what you've done, and all that kind of stuff. He will stand behind you to give you what you need to carry out that job. Don't worry about all the insignificant things. Don't worry about the big things that you've done. If you remember some of the Bible stories that we've talked about already, Rahab was a prostitute, but God used her. David was an adulterer, but he was a man after God's own heart. And then of course Moses. Moses was a murderer, and God used him to lead his people to freedom. The thing is that we have to remember is God does not necessarily call the qualified to do his jobs. He qualifies those who he calls. And that's the most important thing to remember. So if you feel that God is tugging at your heart to do a job, to do something, don't worry about having the ability on your own to do it. Remember that God is the great I am, and he will give you the ability and what you need to carry out the task. All you have to do is to be willing, open your heart, and let him use you in the job that he has called you to do. So thank you, my friends, for joining us this morning for our daily devotion. And just remember, you are qualified through Christ Jesus. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Remember, all those are on our prayer list. And I will talk to you all soon. God bless. Bye-bye.